again.
Are we back?
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody on?
Let's see.
Hello. Both our mics are on.
Okay. All right. So far on this one, nobody. There's one. Okay. We're back, guys. If you can follow us. Sorry it took so long. Now, Create Sunshine says volume is great. So, whatever you fixed. Jerry's here. Anna Marie.
What does Jerry say? Jerry knows the difference.
He said good.
They're good now?
Yep.
Is mine working?
Both mics working?
Well, I'm assuming they are. If yours is working, mine's probably working. You
Yeah.
got mine.
Yeah, I got yours.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody says it sounds good.
All right. Sorry about that. What happened, I noticed this last night. I told Sue about it. I said, YouTube made changes, but I don't know what they done, because I was watching something on YouTube last night, and in the middle of it, it just stopped for about 2 seconds, and then it automatically went back to the very beginning and started over again, and I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything. But it played okay, so I didn't think anything about it. And then today this happens, and so this is what's frustrating about doing this. It really is. It's just frustrating. I can't stand it. I can't stand things to go wrong. It'd be like if I'm painting the house and I spill paint on the ground. It ruins my whole day. I just can't stand it. So if I said anything out of the ordinary, made anybody mad or whatever, I'm sorry, but it just really gets on my nerves when things go wrong. That's one reason why we quit doing WNL. I got so sick of it.
Yeah. And you need to apologize to Betty. You should have had a cup with a lid on it.
I said what?
I said you should have had a cup with a lid on it.
A cup with a lid on it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind, and he's not been trained to mind. And so traveling with him is going to be it's going to be a terror. He's not going to listen. That's the problem with him. He barks. He's got to be right next to you 24 hours a day.
He acts like a dog.
No, but Jack wasn't that way.
Oh, my.
Maggie wasn't that way.
After she got older. No. Okay. Hey, Rich. In Pennsylvania, it's 49 degrees and cloudy.
I don't even know if I'm watching the right thing. I hear Buddy yipping, carrying on. He's sitting right here.
Okay. Well, I said, I'm watching the right thing. I don't know about you.
No, this is 24 minutes ago.
Okay.
This is not the right
And you're
show.
on the right thing.
Hold on a minute. I'm watching a repeat.
Okay. Did you drop
Here's
it?
one that says live.
Yeah. Here you go.
No, that's a repeat. That's the wrong one.
Yeah. Yeah, BJ says you should try Zoloft.
I should what?
You should try Zoloft.
Try what?
Zoloft.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well. That's funny, BJ. Hi, Pam. And it's 45 in suburban Chicago. Well, that's better than what you had, so. Okay, William says, why is it when you buy a pair of shoes, you get 2 shoes, but when you buy a parakeet, you only get 1 bird? Oh, parakeet. Okay, gotcha. It took me a while, William. That's one of those. And somebody told me the other day, a joke about birds.
Okay, I found it.
And it was funny. It sounded like one of Skip's stupid jokes. And I told her that. So it sounded like something Skip would say.
Stupid joke.
Yeah, and I can't remember it. I wish I could because it was funny.
What is 6 inches long and has 2 nuts?
I don't know.
Almond Joy.
Okay. That's what I mean, This was one of those kind of jokes, and I just can't remember it. I wish I could.
Here, everybody chew on that.
Oh, there. A tree? There you go. Okay. Rosemary Laptop.
I'm frazzled already.
Rosemary Laptop says, Skip, I like your shirt. She said, once again.
You bought it somewhere.
Rizzo says, hey, from Key West. I'm glad you guys made it home.
I thought he made it home.
Yeah.
You said he says, hey, from Key West.
Yeah.
So he's not home?
Well, he's at his home down there. They went to the races.
I thought I seen on Discord yesterday or the day before yesterday that he was back.
No, like I said, he's back at his house because of that fire down there. They wasn't sure they'd get back from the races.
Let me ask you guys a question. I wonder if it's ever dawned on anybody else like it's dawned on me. Seems like we're having an awful lot of fires this year.
Well, we're in a drought, dear.
Not everybody. California had the worst fire in history. There was a big fire, I think, in Michigan somewhere.
Carolina.
Canada had a fire that went for months across Canada. We got a big fire down here. And where else was there a fire? There was a fire somewhere like New Mexico or someplace. You ever think about maybe some wacko nut jobs walking around causing all this?
That's possible. And Miss Rizzo says can't stay on long. They're heading back to Marathon now. So they're leaving the races.
Where's the races?
When Homestead?
Oh,
I think.
Okay, Miami area. Okay.
Yeah. But they had that big fire up there, so I wasn't sure they were going to make it back.
Get home? Is that what it was? The road was blocked where they could not even get home?
Yeah, I believe so, in certain parts, yeah.
Those of you who've never been to Key West, it's only one road to get there, and most of it is a single-lane road.
Yeah. Which
is awful, because if there's some guy in front of you running 2 miles an hour, you can't pass, you just have to follow him.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, you want your cookie? I have a handful of stuff here. Okay. But, he says air show's in Key West today.
Air show?
Yeah, there's an air show in Key West today.
I ain't been an air show in years.
Yeah, and Jerry says Rizzo got kicked out of the Villages because he flew a drone.
Who got kicked out of the Villages?
He said Rizzo.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's a couple more issues coming up from what I understand here soon. The drones wasn't the only thing that they restricted.
That drone thing is a joke. And I don't even know why those drone people are even putting up with this stuff or why they're even paying attention to it. Yeah. The villages, their lawyers, or anything else that their money can buy, they do not control the airspace. They can take the law, and that's what lawyers are good at. They take a law, they take a part of that law, they twist it around to go, well, you can't do this. When in actuality, you can. So they can't stop those guys from flying them drones down there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they're even putting up with it. And then what really gets me is when they say, I've been told by a couple of drone people here that their lawyers, or the developer actually, maybe it's the developer, maybe it's somebody working for the developer, and the developer don't even know what's going on here. I mean, it's possible that the business is so big that one hand doesn't see what the other one's doing. That they cannot force you to take down videos that's on your YouTube channel. That's going to take a court order or something, and they don't have that power.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I read this morning that the water volleyball, that they had a bunch of people that was protesting the changes that made, because there's two groups of water volleyball people. And,
which one's the important group?
Well, that's just it. One thought they were more important than the other, and so they changed.
Rohan runs all that. So
well, they changed the hours that the one group got to play and give it to the other group, and so all of them
usually the argument is about the time.
It was.
Oh.
And like I said, they went. There's a bunch of them that went, and then the thing was closed when it was supposed to be open, and so they ended up calling the police.
What do you mean closed?
The pool was closed.
For what reason?
They didn't have a reason.
They give you a week in advance saying the pool's closed next week because we're cleaning it.
No, this was a matter of the time change, and they wouldn't let these people in.
Because they had somebody else coming in?
Or evidently. But anyhow,
they can't change your time slot like that. Well, yes, they can, I suppose, but it ain't right.
But they had 30, 40 people, protesting, and I get the people at the rec center called the police.
They called the police on a bunch of old people who want to play volleyball?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
See how ridiculous this place is getting? And you guys make fun of my news. But I'm telling you, there's things that happen down here that you're never going to read in the happy paper.
Yeah.
But it ain't the villages that bothers me. They get things what I say sometimes messed up. So let me be very clear. This is a great place to live. It's very, very safe. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to point out things that in your mind, if you don't do nothing but watch all the happy news around here, you're going to get an idea of what it really is. And there's things that happen in the back room that you don't know about. And just like the drones being ordered to take your videos down, and you can't video this or video that. That's one of the stupid things that happens around here. I think I'm not a fan of Don Wiley, but I'll give credit where credit's due. He's not backing down. He'll take it to court if he has to. Just like the guy with the little white cross. How stupid is that thing?
It's costing thousands of dollars, but he's pursuing it.
Yeah, so I got to give a guy credit. He's not backing down. He'll pursue it. And I got to admire somebody that says, I'm not taking your crap. I'll see you in court. Because that's really the only way you're going to be able to settle any of these things. Once that developer knows, and that lawyer knows that that person won't take the crap, the odds are they won't bother that person again unless you really do something stupid. So
well, I'm just thinking that, the PR people that they have is really dropping the ball here.
They are.
Because America's friendliest hometown will not apply.
This is why
if they keep this up.
When I change my voice on the news, I go, America's friendliest hometown. It's because it is and it ain't. It's a two-headed sword here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're good. You can walk around. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory. But they'll never tell you about the homeless people that caught underneath one of our golf cart tunnels in the middle of the night that had a campfire, and they were setting up an encampment in the tunnel.
Yeah, so it happens. We're not immune to it. They do tend to take care of things pretty quick, though.
They do take care of things.
Yeah.
Everybody comes here. The one thing you'll hear here a lot, I turned these mics up a while ago, and I hope they're not too loud. But, is everybody says they are always impressed about how clean everything is and how well maintained everything is. The yard's mowed. Well, the land is mowed. The bushes are trimmed, and all this and that. And it is. It's fine. Rules get broken, and I think that's where confusion happens with people that don't live here. We all have rules. We all have district rules. We all know what they are. The new people that moves in, the second and third owners of a home, I don't know how that's closing. But if they don't have a copy of district rules, I've always said you better get them because you're going to make a fatal mistake, and then you're going to be complaining about, well, the village is this, the village is that, when in actuality, you're the one that did it. And like bush heights, I keep mine back here at 4 feet. Might be a hair above 4 feet now. The last time he trimmed them, I noticed that they seem a little taller, so I might have to say something. But I keep mine at 4 feet because in my district, that's how tall your bushes can be. 4 feet, unless there's a clause in there, unless it's a bush or a hedge that's been planted by the developer. And usually that's out by a street. And they let them get a little taller because it's like a sound barrier. So they let them get a little taller.
Right.
They're excluded from that. But in your yard, all bushes cannot be any more than 4 feet. And that's a bush, not a tree or anything like that. So I keep mine at 4 feet. But even here in my area, in people's backyards, I see bushes 15, 20 feet tall. I don't say anything because it doesn't really affect me. And I know what they're there for. It's a privacy thing. It's all this and that. And so, I don't really complain about other people and what they do unless somehow it affects me. So sooner or later, somebody will complain. And then that's when things get looked at. Yeah. The key thing here is all of the villages is what they call a complaint-based, actually a city now. If nobody complains, you can do anything you want. All it takes is one complaint, and that's when the action starts.
Yeah. Other than that, I said it's a pretty good day.
Other than that, you sit outside like we are, drink your coffee, eat your cookies, yell at your dog, and watch your neighbors.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I said we've got a little bit of a breeze here. I think it's going to be 81, 82 today. Makes it perfect. Just really perfect. Not a cloud. Well, there's a couple clouds, but not many. So
they're white clouds.
Yeah, in another hour or so, those will be gone probably.
Yeah, I don't see no rain clouds.
We had, I think yesterday and the day before, we had a lot of cloud cover.
I think
we had a little bit of rain.
Today supposed to be something like 82, something like that. But
yeah, and that's good. I'm not opposed to the warm weather.
The big thing here for me is humidity. Humidity here right now is like, I don't know what it is.
And it hasn't started getting bad yet.
No, it's well within the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Stop.
What?
I know what you want.
Yeah, you want another cookie? Look at you. Yeah, I can't imagine why he's such a pain. Okay. I'm going to go back because I
By the way,
lost you.
I asked the tree trimmer guy. What's his name?
Channel.
Channel. I said, why are some of them branches up there shorter than other branches? I said, that really irritates me. They should all be the same, same length. We didn't have a storm. He goes, squirrels. He said, when the branches are first coming out, they're young and tender. The squirrels go up there and they eat the end of the branches as they're coming out.
Oh.
I laughed at him and said, we ain't got no squirrels here.
Oh, we do.
Well, I didn't know that. I said, we ain't got no nut trees or nothing around here. There are no squirrels. He goes, oh, no. He said, but, squirrels usually get up there and they make a nest. And so the next day I got up kind of early, like at 8:30 in the morning. And I just happened to look out the front door window. And guess what I seen across the street over there running between the houses? I saw a little squirrel.
I was going to say, I know we've got squirrels and rabbits. We got lots of them. And I said, Buddy, this morning the cranes were out. There's a pair here that has a couple babies, and they're getting big really quick.
I'm doing video of them. I'm going to try to do like a video of them as they walk through every week. And after a month of the videos, to kind of do a video showing this week, next week. When the first video I did, they were probably about that tall.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like baby chicks almost.
Yeah, yesterday they walked through here. That's probably been 2 or 3 weeks after I did the first video, and I swear to you, they're this tall already.
Yeah, they're growing really, really fast. And this morning the big papa was over there on the corner, and he was just yelling his head off trying to get everybody together because Mama was about half a block behind him, and then the babies were in somebody else's yard. And I said, when he was over in the driveway across the street, and I was messing with Buddy, didn't even pay any attention, and he squawked, and it scared me to death. Buddy and I, neither one of us seen him standing there, but he makes a lot of racket. They do. They start jumping up and down and squawking, and the noisiest birds.
We've got 140 people on here right now, so I appreciate you guys following us. I don't know that glitch. I don't know. What happened, what I had to change, and I wasn't sure how to do it, was the default browser on an iPad is Siri. I usually shut Siri off and use Chrome. I'm familiar with Chrome. I know this all sounds confusing probably, but I'm not high tech on this stuff either, but I use Chrome. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently when they did an update or something on this, it was on Siri. Well, on Siri, I didn't give Siri access to my YouTube channel to turn microphones on and all that kind of stuff. So that's what happened.
Potato on his cookies. Yeah. And yes.
And who knows what will happen next week if we're even here.
Yeah.
His brother passed away. We found out today, so we'll have to go to Indiana for a funeral, and so I don't even know if we'll be here next week at all. Don't know if you're going to get the news. Well, yeah, I got enough in there to get it done early. You'll get the news next week, but after that, I can't promise anything.
Yeah, and Patrick, he says you're slowly getting better. Have you got the same crud that Laura has? She's been sick here lately too. Laura and Patrick.
What they got?
I don't know. Laura says she got whatever's going around Chicago, but
well, that could be anything.
I know. And thank you, Janet. Yeah, my flowers come out pretty good. I'm having trouble finding another sweet potato plant because I got another pot that I want to put one in. Because I love this light green. It just kind of sets everything off, I think. But like I said, the stores didn't have any this year, and so I took a piece of a sweet potato and put it in a glass, tried to get some roots going, and it didn't happen. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been to every plant place, but so far all the ones I've been to haven't had them, and like I said, they kind of make the pot, I think. So
I got a potato plant growing over here in this other pot.
You do?
Not a sweet potato plant, but a potato plant.
Well, I don't want a potato plant. I want a sweet potato.
There's a certain way you got to plant them.
Well, I thought maybe it would root if I put it in water, and it didn't.
First of all, you got to take a potato. You want to take an older potato, and then you look at the eye, and you look for the eye that's growing, and that's what you cut out. It's just that eye.
I usually don't have them long enough for the eye to be growing, but yeah, it's And all points, I guess you may have heard our opinion of what's going on with the grounds.
Yeah, I talk to Papa Pineapples. I don't really talk to Wiley because I'm really not friendly with him at all. DD, I have nothing against him whatsoever, but I have seen his videos, and I don't know why those three and maybe some other drone guys just don't get together and make this just a public spectacle. Now, Wiley, I think, is called a news channel.
I was going to say it was on the news, so they're making it public.
So this is not going to go well for their advertising department.
Yeah, that's what I said. Their PR people are losing the ball here. So, thank you, Janet. Wera wants to know: do sweet potatoes have eyes?
I don't know. I'm just telling you that's what you want to do.
I know he threw out the one I had because it wasn't rooting anyhow. But I figured, usually every plant that I ever get, if I put it in water, it'll sprout some.
No, you got to splat the eye. That's the only place where anything grows. It doesn't grow anywhere else.
Well,
just like a radish. You can throw a radish in a jar of water, but it won't grow.
Okay. Brad says the picture's flipped. Porch setting sign and ornaments are upside down. You both look great, though. Okay.
Well, we're sitting backwards here because I know I'm over here where Sue normally is, but you guys are probably seeing us over there, seeing me over there. And this porch setting sign is probably backwards. I wasn't even going to put it out here to try to help make things better for you guys.
But you didn't tell me.
Somewhere here, once again, from one week to the next week, I turned it on, didn't do anything any different. Everything was just backwards. So I sent iPad people, Apple customer service, and they sent me a thing back saying, well, go into your settings, and on your rear camera, that's what we look at. The picture we can see, actually, this is called a rear camera. The front camera is on the back side of the iPad, which is confusing when you think about it. And they said on your rear camera, so go into your settings, and it says turn the mirror front camera, turn the mirrored front camera off. Well, I went to my settings. The mirrored front camera was already off. So I turned this thing off and on 2 or 3 times. I've changed the settings 2 or 3 times, mirrored, unmirrored, mirrored, unmirrored. It seems to make no difference whatsoever to the point where I just give up.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, there goes your buddy. Yeah, there goes your buddy. Well, like I said, it's just been one of those days.
No.
You haven't. Like I said, somebody has a Monday on Wednesday.
I've got great cameras on the back of this new cell phone. And I thought, maybe I can use this. Maybe it'll be a better picture and put it up there, Same thing. The front camera, or this is actually the rear camera, is backwards. The front camera's okay. So I could turn this iPad around and use the back camera that's on it, and everything's correct. It's only on this side here that it's not correct. And I don't know how to fix that because it's never been done this before. So I don't know.
We'll see. Like as long as you can still see us, that's the main thing right there. Jerry says you have to buy sweet potatoes with blue eyes. The rest won't grow.
Yeah.
Well, that's possible. Julie says they're done and their cabinets are up now.
Oh, Julie. When you coming down?
Yeah. Laura says those drone pilots who have YouTube channels are giving the developer free publicity. Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of publicity.
Every YouTuber down here is the best salesman, the best free advertisement that developer will ever have. He can never pay for the great advertisement that these YouTubers are giving him. Yep. And it doesn't cost him a dime. So for him to get involved in this or not get involved, we don't know if the developer actually knows what's going on yet. Yeah. But for this to even come up is just beyond. I think what it is, somehow they like to they use this thing of information as an excuse. We don't want you doing this because we want to make sure it's accurate information getting out there. What information are we talking about? Building houses? Golf courses? There's nothing false about any of that. Yeah. I think what it boils down to is it's a business decision and he's got a business manager, I don't know who it is, that they're starting their own YouTube channel stuff. They got a bunch of them. I mean, I don't know how many YouTube channels they got, but I've seen quite a few of them. and they're trying to eliminate competition over here, so they get more viewers over here, because the more views you get, the bigger the paycheck is. That's how it works.
Yeah. And then I said, and they can control the narrative, anything they want to say. But I do know there are, like Disney. Disney has restricted airspace, so they can do it. I don't know how they do it.
You can restrict the airspace, but there's a process they have to go through with FAA. Nobody else. Not the police department, not the fire department.
Yeah.
FAA has to approve this, and it can be a temporary basis or a permanent basis.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. It's usually safety. And I said that. I said, well, if they don't want people flying drones in this newer area over there, for whatever reason, makes no difference. The reason is they can go to FAA and get a temporary airspace restriction over there. And that's what they really need to do. Yeah. But they're not doing it. They're throwing these threatening letters. Listen, when I owned a trucking company, it happened to me a half a dozen times, maybe not even that much, where I got threats from ex-employees, lawyers telling me I had to do this or that, or I had to pay this or pay that, and all this and that. They're just threatening letters. There's nothing from the court saying, if you don't do that, we'll have to pursue this matter. I just sent them back saying, hey, pursue it. You know where I'm at. You got my address. And you never hear no more about it. So I just take all that as a threatening position. We'll send them out there, and we'll make them go away. But the insult to me, and I'm glad that Wiley took it to his side and fought that, is when somebody says, you got to take down all your videos on your YouTube channel. They told Papa Pineapples, I think, they wanted him to take his YouTube channel down. That would be the line for me. It ain't happening.
Yeah. So anyhow, actually, that's one of the big things that's going on here that people have a problem with. And I think, eventually they'll get it settled. I don't think they'll let it go on too long, because it's, like I said, bad PR, and they don't want that.
I think the developer ought to come out on his own YouTube channel and give them all an apology, is what I think.
Yeah, well, that probably ain't going to happen.
In Florida's friendliest hometown.
And Jerry Bell says, does the Villages have a good channel manager like you do?
I got the best channel manager. He takes care of my channel. And I got some of the best moderators, too.
That's true.
I've had people send me emails saying, hey, I put a comment up there and it disappeared. Why'd you take it down? I don't even know what the comment was. I didn't take it down. So I figured one of my moderators must have saw something. They know what to do and what not to do. And they took it down like they're supposed to. So my answer to all them are, I didn't take it down. One of my moderators did. So you have to talk to them. And that's the end of it. Yeah.
Mark Ryan says, could you provide the brand link to the new chairs you bought? He likes them. Honey, all I know is I got them off Amazon. I couldn't tell you what company or what have you. It's been a while. It's been since Christmas, so couldn't tell you. But I do know that Home Depot has a set similar to them, because Linda has them, and I like the ones that she had. And so she said she'd got them at Home Depot. And I said they didn't have any at Christmas time. Of course, Christmas time wicker chairs. But anyhow, I went ahead and ordered them off Amazon. But right off my head, I can't think of what company. But Amazon has
these chairs.
Yeah, they have specials where you can get the chairs and a table, or you get 4 chairs and a big table, that kind of thing. And this was just the 2 chairs.
Yeah, but you got to be careful about that. When you're talking about 4 chairs, are we talking outside furniture? Because these are outside chairs.
Yeah.
We can leave them out here.
Yeah, and
we got the idea for these because Linda bought these for her lanai, right?
Yeah, but she bought hers at Home Depot, and they were similar, other than the arms are big.
I'm just saying the style and all that. The cushion. Yeah. These other chairs over there, Sue got them temporarily for something. I forget now. They're awful. I don't buy them. They're terrible. They sit out in the sun, and the material gets so brittle on them that when Jose came over there, he put the chair back over there, and I said, why'd you do that? It's ripped. He fell through it.
Yeah,
just get rid of it.
And Jose's not a big guy.
No.
But they, the sun and the water on them, it does destroy them after a while. They're good for temporary. And I had them actually as excess on the back porch. That's what they were for. Because I like to sit on the back porch sometimes. And like I said, they had a good deal on them, so I got 4 because I thought 2 in the front, 2 in the back. But yeah, we've had those for what, 2 or 3 years?
What?
Those chairs.
Yeah, a couple of years. But
yeah.
Down here is the heat of the sun. That's the thing that's going to destroy your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to sound like I'm being a snob. I'm not, but I always recommend people don't leave your car set outside in the driveway. At nighttime, you're fine, I suppose, but
Hmm.
during the day, when the heat of the sun really gets down here for several months, the heat of the sun will destroy your car. It will dry rot your tires over time.
Hmm.
It could maybe hurt the paint, but I do know it'll destroy your dash. It'll make your dash crack, and it also will destroy the seats next to the windows. So park it in the garage. That's what a garage is for. It just protects your investment. If you got a $35,000 car, just don't leave it sit outside in the sun.
Yeah. It's Racer Girl has a question about, are you limited to the trash you put out? Well, it depends on what kind of trash you're putting out.
You can't set
We
your
don't
wife out.
we don't separate the trash from the lawn stuff now. It's all one. So you don't have to have the paper bags, although I think it's kind of easier to put it in the paper bags. But when bad weather comes, it's hard to deal with the
But
paper
with the
bags.
other company we had, they made us separate everything. They had rules. And then, like in your trash bags, they had to be clear bags because they said people were doing things like throwing old oil in the bags and it was causing a problem. So it had to be clear bags so they could see what was in that bag. Well, then they got a new trash company. I don't know. They take bids. I don't know. But now it makes no difference because everything that they pick up goes into an incinerator, and that they use that incinerator, the fire. They make electricity with it.
Yeah, when they're burnt. But there's also a limit as to what you can put out there as far as furniture, grills, that kind of thing.
Or water heaters.
If you've got something like that,
You got to call.
You have to call them, and it's a $10 fee for the pickup. I put a couple chairs, lounge chairs out here, and then we put the grill out. But like I said, it was a $10 fee, and they put it on your water bill at the end of that month. And but like I said, other than that, they pretty much pick up everything. You know, it just depends because they don't know how many people that they got on the truck. So anything heavy like that, like I said, you got to call them and you got to pay for it. So
I can only speak for our neighborhood here, but when we set trash out, they're pretty prompt about it.
Yeah.
You call them up and say, I'm setting the couch out there. I want it picked up. They'll tell you what day and what time.
Yeah, because it doesn't come with the regular trash. They've got a separate pickup.
Yeah. It's got a lift gate on the back for heavy, like an old refrigerator or something like that. But hey, for $10, you know.
Yeah, and you can, Racer Girl, put out old piece of furniture, but like I said, you got to call them and tell them, and like I said, they'll just add that $10 to your water bill for next month.
I still want to know what that tower is right there. I'm telling you, that tower was not there before I'd have seen it.
Well, I don't see it, so I couldn't tell you. I'll have to look after a bit because I can't see it.
I don't know what that is either, but just kind of curious.
Well, it could be. Oh, Mark found them. Found the chairs. Yeah, like I said they have separate deals on them sometimes, but we like them. I mean, they're very comfortable. They rock. They swivel. I do a little bit of everything. And so far, they still look good in the weather. Now, it's only been a few months since Christmas, but they're holding up really, really well. Now, a couple of days when we had really high winds, I took the cushions in because it was blowing the cushions away. And I do have a cover for them.
Really?
I have a cover for both of them, and which you can get those covers for like $24. For two of them, it's not bad at all. But like I said, instead of taking the time to put the covers on, I just took the pillows in because I knew it was just going to be, once the wind quit, I could put them back out.
Look at there, Mark Berry's on here.
Yeah.
Mark,
and
you came by here a couple of weeks ago with your dog in the golf cart, and then 2 seconds later, I see you going down the road. You left. Why didn't you hang around for a while? Come up here and sit down and shoot the ball.
I think he probably didn't want Buddy and his dog to.
But he just moved here. He's a fairly new resident, right? Full time. Didn't he buy a place like a Richmond or someplace?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people may want to ask him, what he liked or didn't like.
Yeah.
About the place.
Yeah. If you get a chance, come back and see us.
Everybody's got their opinions about what they like and didn't like.
And Scott, the thing's in mirror mode because something different about the computer. We don't know.
What's that?
So I wanted to know why we're in mirror mode backwards.
I've shut mirror mode off 2 or 3 times, restarted everything 2 or 3 times. It doesn't work. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. So, to be honest with you, I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm just tired of it.
I said, as long as you can see us and you can hear us, that's the main thing. So I said, we're not going to worry about it.
If I take that sign down, You wouldn't know I was on mirror mode.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because we're sitting in different chairs.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Okay. Wow.
Those are Hummuh, Hummuh, Hummuh outdoor swivel rocker wicker patio. That's
Okay.
a lot of words.
Well, I never thought there is a tag on the back of these cushions. I could have
I'm
looked.
not looking.
Well, I think you're right. I think that's what it is.
Take a picture and go to Amazon.
Well, Mark said he found them. So,
okay.
But that's the main thing. Florence Keenan says, "Hi, Skip and Sue. We are new and haven't received our bill that has the amenity fee, trash, and water yet. When do those bills go out?" I just got mine this week. So I think it was yesterday. So you should be getting it just any time. And I said, I don't know if they have a particular day, but it's toward the end of the month. Mine is. And I said, I just received it. So you should be getting it any time. If not, I'd give them a call. They've got, if you go to districtgov.org, for one, they've got all your districts on it. So you know what district you're in, and you can find all the rules for that district, because some of these districts are different. The rules that apply in this one doesn't necessarily apply in the next one. So we're in District 10, but District 11 might have different rules. But on the gov.org, districtgov.org, and you can go and find all the rules for your district. And I said, and it does have the phone numbers for your water bill, for SECO, all that kind of stuff. You can find all that on districtgov.org. And let's see. Oh, Mark Berry says these look like Martha Stewart chairs.
Got me on that one.
Yeah, well,
I don't buy this stuff. I don't shop.
And I'm a big fan of Martha Stewart. So
yeah, this is Sue's stuff. She buys this stuff. I just told her I was sick of those chairs.
Yeah.
I said, you better get something different, or I'm going to buy something. And she knows I'll probably buy the wrong thing, so she ordered these.
Yeah. Craig Morrison says, porch sitting can often be compared to traffic in the Keys. Sometimes it's a leisurely 2-mile-per-hour stroll where you cannot pass. Yeah, that's about right. And then, let's see. Caveman has it.
A little bumpy along the way, but I'll get you there.
Yeah. Craig Morrison says pool was closed because of too many Almond Joy candy bars floating around. Craig says the pool was closed because of too many Almond Joy candy bars floating around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody pooped in the pool.
Yeah. Racer Girl says, we stayed in the village of Bonnybrook last week. It's quiet and pretty. The ladies at the pool were very nice. Most generally they are. Now there's some cliques here. Well, I hate to say that, but there is. And I remember I went to play cards at one of the rec centers. I think it was Eisenhower. And there was a group there that they're serious about their games. I mean, and I could do or not do. It's not a big thing to me. But I had a lady that reached over and smacked my hand. That was the last time I went.
She what?
She reached over and smacked my hand.
For what?
I don't know. I did something wrong in the card playing, but anyhow, I thought, nah, I don't need this. But I have never encountered that anywhere else. And I said, I play cards now. I play with my neighborhood ladies. But this was a group I didn't know, and they go there every week. And I said, they're very serious.
Somebody smacking somebody else's hand.
Well, like
she thinks she is.
It shocked me so much I couldn't say anything. I didn't know what to say.
Probably an ex-Catholic nun.
Well, I don't know.
Got the reputation of taking. It was even on Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
They'll beat you with a ruler.
Oh, that's a stereotype. It's like all truckers, But
I don't know. There might be some truth in some of that.
It could be. And usually at the pool, that's where you get so much information. She said the ladies were nice. Usually, especially in the morning, the ladies in the pool are doing laps or using their floaties or doing exercises, something like that. And they're very nice, and they're very open about, letting you know anything if you've got a question or what have you. That's where you find all the gossip and all the information.
That's all them pools are, is a big gossip hall.
Yeah.
You'll see them standing out in the middle of the pool, 2, 3, 4 of them standing in a little circle, all have their hats on to keep the sun off their face. And they're out there just talking. Who knows what they're talking about? Probably their neighbor.
Oh, and Anne Marie says, Great question, Florence. I'm waiting on ours too. It's supposed to be sent to my New York address. I'm waiting on it, and the PIN number. I have to set it up for auto pay.
Why can't they just send you your bill on email?
But Kimber, you got to sign up for all that. I said some of that stuff isn't. They're not up to date on their.
He just said it's supposed to arrive in New York. That means he set it up to be mailed to New York. Why can't he just say, send me an email?
Even if they did, if they haven't, they may not have got it yet. But like I said, some of the.
Well, I don't know when they send it. When do they send them out?
Like I said, I just got mine this week. So it's like the last week of the month.
Well, now, that's a long stretch. This week.
Yesterday.
Okay, so when do they send them out? That's when you got it. That's what they're asking.
Okay, well, how long do you think it takes to get mail here?
I don't know where it comes from.
Well, anyhow, it like I said, it's like the last week of the month is when you normally get it, I think. So, and I said, if you haven't signed up to do the auto thing, and I said some of the departments aren't up to speed on that yet. Yeah, I think you just got it.
They really are kind of like 10 years behind on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like the dial-up. You know?
Emailing your bill, direct deposit on some stuff.
Yeah.
Automatic payment.
They're changing a little bit at a time. They're adding more and more stuff that you can do with it online.
Another thing I think is just totally out of whack is the newspaper. Why do we even have it?
Because I want it.
You can do it online.
I know, but I don't want it online.
Almost every newspaper in America does it online.
I know. And I said, and that's why the papers are half the size of what they were. They don't advertise much anymore.
I don't know. I don't care one way or the other. I'm just saying there's things that you don't even have the option to get it online.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I don't like is when they don't give you option. Like, your credit card statement. I hate it that they do it online. I want a paper copy.
I chose to have it online.
Well, and that was your mistake. I'm the one that has to pay it. I need to know what's on it.
Just pay it automatically.
If you don't know
what... By the way, they sent me a thing there, that Chinese communist crap that I canceled, that they said the money was put back in the bank account, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'll have to look at that and make sure.
I just want to know that if the Walmart one that also sells that Chinese crap, if they got a tracking number.
The one that I found is American made.
I got a hold of Nixon last night. She said she ain't seen anything.
Well, they said it around Monday, but
I want a tracking number.
What? And I saw my phone, but it's up in the boonies, so hers is always later.
Who they ship it by? Up there.
I don't remember.
UPS?
I don't remember.
FedEx?
I'll have to look. But I do have a shipping number.
Pickup and delivery service?
Well, I said, they're lucky. That post office used to not even take packages.
Our granddaughter lives in the middle of frickin' nowhere.
Yeah.
And she said that sometimes delivery up there is an issue. And because Sue ordered it at Walmart, Walmart has the reputation that if you live in an area that they have problems delivering in, that they'll send you a notice that you have to pick that item up at their store. Well, I asked them when they were here. I got some video of them down here. I'll get it up on my Patreon page soon. But anyway, he told me, I said, do you have a Walmart store up there near you? And he goes, yeah. He said, there's one up there. He said the closest one's about 75 miles away. Think about that. You think Walmart's in every little town, right? Their nearest Walmart is 75 miles away.
Yeah, they're right on the Canadian border. And but anyhow, I said the arrival was tentatively a Monday, and I told her to let me know when she got it because of where they're at, because they wanted a specific address.
You know what's going to be the nightmare?
What?
That she gets it and it don't work.
Yeah. Palm Beach Peter says, hey, y'all, from Peter and Mom in Spanish Springs. Well, how are you guys? We're, I said, we've had a few hiccups today, but other than that, we're doing okay.
Okay. I got a thing from Scooter the other day. Scooter the DJ. I guess him and Jose was together somewhere. I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, they did a short little, I put it on at the end of one of the videos. It might be on Patreon. You guys may not see it. I don't know. But anyway, we're Scooter saying, hey, Skip, you suck.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
He was with Jose, I think. I said, Jose went to one of his shows and they were conversing, and that's why because Scooter told us that.
Yeah, it's a long story about that you suck thing.
Yeah. He told us when we come to his shows to holler that at him, and so he'd know who we were. And
What's he barking at?
I don't know. He probably wants over there. Here, here's your Chewy. Let's see. Yeah, Craig wants to know how long ago did you live in Palm Beach, Peter, and whereabouts? Joyce Tischerman says, so sorry for your loss. Thank you, Joyce. Don't know a whole lot right now other than what's happened. So, and
He was the youngest one, other than your sister, but he was the youngest boy of all of them.
Yeah, I've lost both the two olders and the two youngers. So
kind of shocking, but he did smoke a lot. Don't know if it's related to what happened here or anything, but that's the only thing I can think of. He smoked a lot. He didn't drink. He didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, they don't.
He was not overweight in any way. So I don't know.
And Anna Marie says, hopefully the USPS is still working. Yeah, me and you both, we got a little problem with that. But
what's going on with that?
We don't want to get into it. Palm Beach, Peter. Huh?
They can't shut the mail down. There's a law about that. You can't shut the mail down. you guys are just making stuff up now. You guys, it's a fear tactic. You're just like the developer. It's a fear tactic. You got to follow more.
Okay. Palm Beach, Peter.
God damn it.
Says, hello, Craig. Mom and I moved and rented by Brownwood for a couple of months. Then Mom bought a townhome right by the square in Spanish Springs in August. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I love those places up there. I really do. And I said, the one I looked at, I was really interested in one of those, but it needed so much updating because, you know, those were one of the first ones around the town there. But I love the way they were made with the stucco and the wrought iron, and some of them had the outdoor courtyards.
What are you talking about?
Spanish Springs. He said his mom bought a townhome up there.
I love those townhomes.
Yeah.
Well, we call them townhomes. They don't call them out here, but I know what you're talking about. We went and we looked at 2 or 3 of them. The problem with them was there's steps to go up to a second floor on every one of them, and Sue can't do steps. But as far as now there's an extra fee that goes along with them. But the design of them inside is not what they look like on the outside, and they're really nice.
Yeah, and like I said, I liked the outside courtyards. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, if I had a choice, I would probably prefer what they call the coach houses, which is the same thing, a townhouse over by, was it Glenview? Huh?
It was over by Glenview.
Glen what?
Glenview.
Yeah, the country club, Glenview. They got coach houses there that's gated, private, and they're like those up in Spanish Springs.
Yeah, and Darrison's Hanger says people like to have a physical newspaper still, though. I do. It's just, to me, it's my morning thing. My mom did it. I do it. You know, it's your coffee and the newspaper every morning. It's, like I said, it wouldn't be the same reading it online.
I got no problem with that. You missed what I said. They don't give you the option.
Some places
That's how far behind they are as far as helping people.
Right.
What about the younger people coming down here that's in their 40s? They say, I don't want that paper thrown in my driveway because I'm not home all the time, and that's a problem here. So I just can get it online. That way I can read it no matter where I'm at.
Right.
You can't even do that.
Yeah. And I like the people that run that office are just so super. You know, anytime I need it stopped, even if it's for a day or 2 days, whatever, you call, and they're the nicest people about stopping and starting. And when you get the paper, a subscription for a year, they take out the days that you're not there. I mean, they take that into consideration. So if you're gone 3 months, they don't charge you for that 3 months. I mean, it's the same price, but like I said, you just get the credit for those 3 months you're not here. So when you come back, you can get it for 3 more months. So that's kind of nice. I like their operation. But I just like to sit down with my coffee.
Where's the rug he likes to lay on?
It's inside. It was wet, and when I dried it out and I put it inside, it's on the box next to the table. Let's see. Ron Freeman says, do you think the villages might not want the drones having video showing how close all the new areas of Eastport is, only a few hundred yards from a federal prison with over 7,100 criminals?
They're pretty... At one time when they were building things, I think they were kind of being a little quiet about that. They want to, hurt their house. But I think now they're pretty open about it.
Yeah.
because they know everybody already knows. So I'm pretty sure that if you ask, they may not refer to it as a prison. I've heard they refer to it as a correctional institution.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make a difference.
But we just think that they want to control the narrative. They want to be able to say, what's there, what's going up next, and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
they want to do their own channel. And a little bit of time, when we first come here, they didn't have one.
No.
And I said, now that they've got theirs, and now they show videos of the houses, which we used to do, and now they do that themselves.
Yeah.
So a little bit of time, and I said they want to control any of the information that goes out.
Yeah, that was a big part of our channel that helped us get going. Was we were doing on all the new models that they had coming out. We did video of them inside and out, the best we could at the time. And then they decided they were going to start a YouTube channel, and then a little bit at a time, they just started putting up roadblocks. So guys like me couldn't really get the video that I wanted to get. Even though the realtors that worked for the villages called me all the time, want me to do all these things, I said I'd be glad to get the permission, and I'll be glad to do it. But they never got the permission, and then they started doing other weird things like, well, they trespassed Ira. He can't even step foot on their property. And I don't know, it just gets to be, when I talk about the backstabbing that goes on here on YouTube, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah. But let's see. Florence says, asking Anna Marie, when did you close? We closed 2/28. I hope it gets here in a couple of days. I'm curious as to how much it is. Well, I've been real pleased with mine so far. I had one time that it went up to what I thought was an unusual amount, and it was a toilet running.
Yeah.
And I said, just something as simple as that made that water bill go up that much higher.
Yeah,
And
I've heard a lot of people talk about all of a sudden, and I remember our toilet. We couldn't even hear it run. It's the inside of the tank and the way they've got it situated that it can literally run 24 hours a day, and you won't even hear it.
Yeah.
It flushes normal, fills up normal, but it never shuts off. And it done that for a month. When you think about it running 24 hours a day, that can be quite a bit of water.
Yeah, and once we took care of that, then it went back to normal.
The other problem, somebody says, well, maybe your water sprinklers are leaking. No, it doesn't happen. Your water sprinkler only comes on when the pump puts pressure in the system. If your water sprinklers are shut off, there's no leak. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but we haven't had a problem since. And your water bill also includes your trash and your septic. So it's. Mine is running $279 right now.
What?
The water bill, the amenities, and the septic.
The amenities trash is like $190, right?
Yeah.
So that's most of it, right?
But I mean, it all comes on one bill, so don't be shocked when you see it.
But I don't want them to think that your water bill is that high. It's the amenities is most of that bill.
Right. And it's specific on that bill. It tells you exactly what's the in water, the out water. What's the amenities. What's the trash?
The 2 water meters on your yard is crazy. Ingenious as far as a developer goes. I always said it was ingenious. You have 2 water systems here. One is water in your house. That's potable water. That comes from the city, Wildwood here. The other one is your yard water in your yard sprinklers. Basically, that's just a pipe that goes through the neighborhood that sticks a thing in the swamp. He's taking swamp water. They got a filter on the end of it back there. It kind of works and kind of don't. That water is what they use. And you'll know this in the middle of summer when the water levels get low, your sprinklers will come on and it smells.
Yeah.
And he's charging you for basically rainwater.
Yeah.
Come on.
But that's what waters your yards and what have you. But I said, you'll see that on the bill. They have everything separate. And my bill also has month to month on there. It shows what the bill was in January. It shows what the bill is in February. So you can actually track yours. So if you've got one of those months where you have to put some furniture out for the trash and it costs you $10, then it'll come up on that bill. It'll be an extra $10 for that month. But yeah, when you first look at it, it's kind of alarming. Like I said, mine runs about $279, but that's the amenities and the water and the trash, so it's all together. So hopefully yours won't be too bad. And Rosemary Laptop says, Sue, we have Walmarts here in the Great White North. They're everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of odd. But like I said, from where they're at, like I said, they got to drive 75 miles to one. They've got one, but it's 75 miles from where they're at. They're in a very small little town. They didn't used to even take packages at their post office because the postal station was too small. But they do now, I guess. But this I was having delivered right to the house. So
if you ever want to know where the Boone Toolies are, that's where my granddaughter lives.
okay. And Darrison's Hanger says Jose is a rock star. Love the video on his new golf cart. Yeah, we love Jose. He's something else, and he's quite the entrepreneur. Let me tell you. And he did have some pictures up of the restaurant that they had down in Miami. And I said he's trying to get his coffee business started here, and he does really well with just what he's got. But he's trying to build himself a coffee wagon where he can go mobile. And like I said, he just when he gets his mindset on something, he just goes after it. And like I said, he's doing a great job. And I know a lot of you that get his coffee have told me how wonderful it is. I do decaf, and he does have decaf coffee.
Well, he supplies some of his coffee to restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Candelaria has it, but I don't know how many. But that's what I said. He's quite the entrepreneur.
I don't know. When I went with him to deliver over there, soon they took in a huge bag of it.
Yeah.
So they sell a lot of Colombian coffee with it.
They do. They do.
So, and then Patreon, because they like unedited stuff. So the trip I did, once again, it started out, he picked me up in the piece of shit one, and was going to go to Dairy Queen and get some ice cream, and then I guess come back. I should know better. We ended up going from here to Dairy Queen, from Dairy Queen to Eustis, Florida, to talk to a guy that has a welding company to weld aluminum, and the guy wanted to measure his truck and how high and how tall, and that turned into, I got home I think it was dark.
Yeah, it was like 9, 10 o'clock.
So I did some video of that. So the first part of that, I think, comes out on Patreon. I want to say Friday, maybe Saturday. It's either Friday or Saturday. So beware. It's unedited. But this time I did cut out some language because there was a little bit of it. And so I cut that out.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't cut anything out.
Yeah. And like I said, the people looking at the Buddy's first golf cart ride had asked about all the heavy clothes I was wearing because it was cold at that time. He'd had that video for a while before he put it up. But Buddy's just growing, growing leaps and bounds.
What?
Buddy, I said he's growing, and he's not growing as far as weight goes, and he needs a haircut now. He needs to get some hair off his face. But like I said, he loves all the people in the neighborhood. They have to say hi to him, and he loves kissing all of them. I have a hard time keeping him on the ground, truthfully. And like I said, he loves his morning walks and his evening walk because he gets to see everybody. Oh. He just picked up one bad habit. He wants to chase cars. Don't know why. He wants to chase cars. Cars or carts? Both. And I said, I hold him back, of course, when a car's coming. But then he gets mad at me. So, and then started taking hold of the leash. But yeah, that's a problem. And he's barking. And I said, I went through a lot of stuff to get him to stop barking. I've got the ultrasonic thing, and he hears it because you can hear him look up. See him look up when he hears it. But it doesn't stop him from barking. He actually barks at it. The vet, actually, when I took him last week to the vet, she said that Amazon has a citronella collar. So they don't like the smell of citronella. And she said they have a collar that you put on them that sprays. Every time they bark, it sprays the citronella. And she said she's had a lot of customers that worked. But at some point, I'm getting tired of buying stuff. Somewhere along the line, we just got to teach him not to. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but we will. Let's see. Thank you, Palm Beach Peter. I appreciate that.
Here, let me make room for you.
It's one of those things where we don't know when or where we're going. So, like I said, you will find out.
Am I going?
And we go up north.
Oh.
And I said, I didn't know if we were driving, flying, what,
Well, I can just tell you, I'm not flying. I'm just don't know where to take the car or the motorhome.
Just did not know why. Well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, so far, let me see, the cranes and their babies. And I said, there's just, in March they start popping out, and they're kind of everywhere. We have a certain 4 that stays here in this neighborhood. Then the other day I said, I seen 2 separate, and I think they just haven't had babies yet. I think maybe they were getting ready to, because it's odd when you just see 2. And then one day I come out here and there's like 7. And it was the strangest thing, because I never see them in groups like that. Very seldom you ever see them in big groups like that. But they're all standing here in the yard, and Buddy's going nuts. But 7 of them is really unusual to see. So they're usually in pairs, or like if they've got babies, it's 3 or 4.
It is funny how the neighborhood cranes will take a territory, and maybe they're territorial, I don't know. But these cranes that come in our neighborhood have these babies. They've been for 10 years. I don't know how old they are. They've been here every year. I assume they're the same crane.
Yeah, we don't know, but like I said, usually there's a pair that has babies walking around here every
And they
every
won't go
March.
anywhere either. They just walk our neighborhood, and then at night, I don't know where they go. Back to the swamp? I don't know.
Yeah. So, and that's not, when you...
The one thing that's nice about the cranes, if you have any mole crickets in your yard, the cranes help to eliminate them. I've watched them do it. How they know they're there, I don't know, but they'll stick that beak right in the ground, and I've seen them pull them up.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lizard in a planter out by our front tree, and they lay eggs. I got up one morning, and that planter was all over the front yard. So apparently they got in there looking for them eggs, and probably the lizard too. And they devoured them. So they can be a mess.
Yeah. And they're ugly. If you've never seen a mole cricket, it's an ugly cricket. It's about twice the size of a cricket, but an ugly cricket.
It almost looks like 2 different bugs put together.
Yeah. And Buddy brought me one. So I knew we had them because Buddy brought me one. So
we got to get something down in our backyard, because we had mole crickets back here this year. Apparently they come out, and the yard guy, and took care of it. But now I got dead spots back here, and I don't like that.
When I've seen a lot in the neighborhood here that they've had grass put in. They bring in the squares, and Chano did one of them, I know. But they bring in the grass squares and replace what grass was dead. And I don't know if they had mole crickets or what it is, because it's really hard to grow zoysia here. I hate
zoysia.
It gets all kinds of bugs. It's good on water, as far as the holding the water and everything. I think that's why they tried it out here. But it's just really hard on diseases and bugs. And it's just a trial and error trying to keep your yard nice and green. And of course, it goes dormant in the wintertime, so it gets brown anyhow. But
Augustine grass is a grass of choice here. It's not perfect. I don't even know if it's even grass, but you have less trouble with that.
Yeah.
The yard guy told me that the problem he has with Augustine grass is mowing and edging, because Augustine grass is like a finger. It's like a vine, kind of like. It just grows out, and then little shoots of green things that look like grass shoots up, and it intertwines, and so he has trouble mowing it, I guess, from time to time. But at least it wants to grow here. It don't seem to be as susceptible to bugs and diseases and things like zoysia. Even though zoysia looks more like grass that we're used to up north, but it's just so hard to take care of down here.
Yeah. And BJ says, I remember when we were talking to a sales representative at Lake Sumter, and I said, isn't there a prison nearby, Fanny? And he said, well, yeah, but Martha Stewart stayed there.
Martha Stewart stayed where?
In the prison. I don't think she did, but I said that's what the representative told her.
Yeah, I never heard that. I thought she stayed at a prison like in New Jersey or New York.
Probably Connecticut somewhere. That's where they put all the fancy people.
I don't think it was down here.
But I tell you, Judy P. and I took we took the trolley tour down to see the, what do they call it, where they have all the new homes and they've got it roped off. It was in Well Point. Yeah, we went to see the Street of Dreams and looked at a lot of those houses. And one thing I did notice, and we asked the realtor about it when we noticed it, but they're not putting in any more fans. And I don't know if I told you this last week or not, but and I asked him why. And he said, well, because everybody was getting rid of them. But the fans they were putting in were so cheap, and I haven't got rid of all of mine, but I got rid of the main one. But they were so cheap that, yeah, everybody wanted something that looked a little better. But I would like to have the idea that they put that outlet in up there, so it'd be easy to change to another one if you wanted to. Where now they're not doing them at all. So
the thing of it is, though, they say this is one of them excuses again. Well, we're taking them down because we don't put them in because they always take them down anyway. So did that lower the price of the house?
Well, that's just it. And they do, the house prices are kind of according to what they can leave out or put in or whatever.
There's one thing you're going to do probably. We did it, and I know a lot of other people did it. In different rooms in your house, you have a high ceiling, very high ceiling. And you don't want that chain hanging way down here somewhere so you can turn it on, turn it off, because that's the fans they put in. So in the high ceiling areas, we had our fans taken down, and I installed them myself. I forget where I got the ladder, though, because I don't have a ladder that tall. I must have borrowed it somewhere. Maybe Paul. He's got big tall.
Or maybe it was Donnie.
Or maybe it was Donnie.
Yeah, when he was next door, yeah.
And I installed it myself, but I wanted a ceiling fan that had a remote. That way I don't, you just turn the electricity on, but then you have a remote to set the speed. It has a light on it, so I can turn the light on, turn it off. It's got a dimmer switch. It's all remote.
Yeah.
And we don't use the fan that much, but it's nice to have that remote.
Yeah. Tammy Ferguson said, love the golf cart rides. Buddy seemed to enjoy his golf cart ride. He did. And he got to see his buddies that he usually, when we walk, he runs into several of the other dogs here. And I said they play for a few minutes and then go on down the road. But he got to see one of them anyhow. He got to see Peppy. And Peppy's an older dog. So she's not quite as jumpy as he does. And I think that he scares a lot of them because a lot of them are older dogs and they're quiet and slow, and Buddy's just all over the place. But he seemed to like it. We haven't took him a lot of places in it, but I want to figure out how to fasten his seat in the golf cart so I can take him down the dog park in the golf cart. We'll see. Darison's Hanger says, we have Walmarts here in Hawaii and grass skirts are made in China. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Weird? We got, it's like.
One of our senators here, Congressman Webster, I don't know what he is. He a senator or congressman? Or is he just a state representative? Huh? Webster.
I'm not sure now.
Whatever he is. He's trying to get a bill passed where, in Florida anyway, all American flags at all the government buildings have to be made in America. They're trying to get that passed. Personally, I got no problem with that. I didn't know America had a factory that made flags. I mean, where do you get that done at?
Yeah, well, all you do is go online, Google it. Jerry says, Skip, what kind of water do you use in your bidet?
What kind of what?
What kind of water do you use in your bidet?
Water. Whatever's in the house.
Yes.
Hey, I don't apologize for a bidet because Sue made fun of it, and you ask her to this day, once you get used to that warm seat, and then if you unplug it and it turns cold, all of a sudden, you don't like it.
Yeah, he unplugged it when the kids were here, and because he didn't want them to be shocked by the heat. But I still have a problem with water and electricity, but I do like that heated seat.
And the reason why I got that is go back during the so-called pandemic we had, and toilet paper was not to be found because everybody was hoarding it for some strange reason. And anything, the Kleenex, paper towels, anything like that was just, you couldn't hardly get it.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you went to Walmart at 6 in the morning when a delivery truck showed up, there were hundreds of people standing in the parking lot like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't believe this. I said, are these people this dumb? So I got a bidet. I don't need it. I don't need toilet paper. Have another pandemic, I'm covered.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty of toilet paper.
But what if?
Yeah. Yeah, and Laura says no washer, no dryer, no fans. Yeah, they pick out what to.
They didn't have any washer dryers here either.
Yeah, and we didn't have any window coverings or anything, so they pick out what to cut the money.
And I don't know about between 466 and 466A, but I do know that almost every new home north of 466 all came with, first of all, blinds in the house and a washer and dryer.
Right, but ours didn't. And the one thing that I noticed, I love the his and her closets. I think that's epic. I do. But all the bathrooms, and I looked every one of them. Then I went. They have glass shower doors. We don't have that. We've got a Roman shower. We don't have any doors, which I think is wonderful. Trying to keep those clean as impossible.
Well, it's really good for a wheelchair.
Yeah, and so like I said, that's one thing I was kind of, even the high price one. And my laundry room has got a closet. It's got cabinets,
Upper and lower.
Upper and lower. It's got a sink. It's just I've got so much room in that laundry room. Thank God. And none of these, all these seem to have was a spot for the washer and dryer, and that was it.
Yeah, we was in a new house here not too long ago. I forget why or where or what even kind of house it was, and we looked where the laundry room was at. It was kind of like in a little hallway between like the kitchen and garage.
That's when they're putting all of them anymore.
And there was nothing in there. No sink, no cabinets, no nothing.
Just
and the washer and dryer they bought and put that in there.
And some of the rooms weren't even big enough for cabinets or anything.
So I asked them. I says, "Are they going to come back and put cabinets in?" They said, "No, it's just I got to put them in myself." I just thought, man, they're really starting to cheap out on some of this stuff.
Oh, we have a couple. Let's see, Craig Morrison $9.99, and
somebody send super chats
and A Cash $4.99.
Super chats, yeah. Super
thank
chats.
Thank you.
Oh, Craig Morrison super chat and
A Cash.
A Cash super chat $4.99. Appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate a lot of it.
Yeah,
most of that will go in for Buddy's treats.
Rick Stahl says Jerry Bell, he doesn't use a bidet. He's got a DeWalt power washer for all that old crustiness.
You say that. Here's something funny. There's things that happen you guys don't even see. And Sue don't like me to tell you, but I'm going to tell you this one. I go out to the kitchen the other day, and there's Sue bent over holding on to Buddy's tail, and she's got a bounty towel. And I says, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm wiping his butt." She said he was a little runny today. So I told her, I said, "Well, if that was me, I'd just take him outside and I'd wash him down with the garden hose."
Yeah. And I said, if I had that much control over him, I could do that. And yes, and thank you, A-Cash and Craig, both of you. Terry Span said, did you ever go to Goose Island while in Rockport? Did you see the big tree that is over 1,500 years old?
Yeah, we was there.
We actually had got our picture taken in front of that tree.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, we can't sit on that tree. That old tree she's talking about had a fence around it. You can't get to it. But there's another old tree that has a
arm that come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a picture on that one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That area down there, the whole area is kind of sprawled out, but it's an interesting area. You go over to the island over there, and there's a campground over there that's just, it's a very, very nice campground. What was it called?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it.
Anyway, it's an upscale campground. I think you could actually buy a spot, and then if you want to rent it out, they'll rent it out for you. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then what's it called? What's the island called? I forget.
Let me see. Goose Island.
No. We went over there to take the ferry and go over to the island over there.
Oh, Mustang Island?
Might be Mustang. No, that's down the shore. Anyway, wherever we're at, I thought we were an A. Okay. Like whatever it's called. Anyway, we went over there.
Aransas.
Aransas. You got that. And if you want to take the road down there, you can go all the way down to, I don't even know all down there, Padre Island, I think, and Mustang Island, and all kinds of stuff. We went to a lot of the, right there in Rockport, if you go to the outskirts, there's a lot of wildlife areas.
Yeah.
That's open to the public. And I flew a drone around one of them. I forget which one it was. And then we walked through them. You think, well, it's kind of scary. Well, it is and it ain't. If you watch where you're going, there's rattlesnakes down there. But we were down there in March. I don't think there's very many snakes out down there in March.
Yeah. And we did do a video of the chapel on the hill, the chapel on the dune.
Yeah, Sue found that on there. And my cousin had never seen it. And he lived there for years. He said never.
And I think that's on Mustang Island. But,
on Mustang Island?
It's really, really cute. It's the chapel is got the pews that you would have in church pews, but there's only like 8 of them. You know, 4 on one side and 4 on the other. It's a very small little church. And the lady that built the church, that she was the poet laureate for Texas at the time, and she built that little chapel, and she would have
I think
children.
they still have services there every Sunday.
They could, but I know she built the chapel to have children come up, and she would read the Bible to them, and she'd feed them ice cream. But it's all hand painted on the inside, really, really cute. But like you have to go up some steps because it is on the top of a dune. And I didn't know dunes stayed. I mean, I thought that was something that blew away.
What's funny about some of them old buildings down there, like this church? It's not a big church at all, but everything inside's hand painted. The ceiling's hand painted with pictures and stuff, and it's kind of cool looking. But they have these hurricanes, and a lot of the modern built homes or newer built homes are all gone. They're wiped away. They're tore down. They've been demolished. And yet here's a church that's 200 years old on the top of a hill, exposed to all the weather, and there it is. It's still there.
Yes. And I said, we really enjoyed that area. We really did. And I said, a lot of things to see there. I mean, Texas is a big state, but I mean, there's a lot of history there that when we went to Goliad, I love Goliad. You know, that was not only a fort, but also the city or the town.
A hill where they shot and buried all them soldiers.
Yeah.
The Mexican-American War, I think.
And they were on their way to the Alamo and didn't make it.
Yeah.
They were ambushed by the Mexicans. Very interesting piece of history. And of course, we saw the Alamo, and I said, if you've never been to the Alamo before, you'll kind of be disheartened because it's in the middle of town.
Yeah, but it's not in the same place at all.
Yeah, it's in the middle of town, and I said the town is built up around it, and it's still, you know, the same way. The way it's depicted, you know, is the, what do they call it?
It's there.
Yeah,
put it that way. And they've kind of turned the inside of it into almost like just a museum kind of like thing.
Yeah, and it's so touristy. I mean, it is.
It is really touristy.
We got a $4.99 from BJ Gint. She said, BJ Gint.
BJ Gint.
Said it's
dog treats, yeah.
For
Buddy will get them all. I swear to God that dog treats cost more than human food.
Yes. And,
we appreciate it, though. I really do. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and Mark Berry says, BJ Gint, thank you. Yes, Jerry Bell says the same.
By the way, is Craig still on here?
I think so.
Craig, he sponsors my news once in a while. Send me, I don't know how to put it. Send me a small something that advertises what you do, like a little picture of some kind. I've got one that I copied off your Facebook page, and I'm going to put it on probably next Friday's news, so you'll be able to. It'll be on the thank you scroll. Will you stop it? It'll be like on next Friday's roll.
Buddy.
So you'll see it, and it's the round picture of you, and I think it has your name on it, but it doesn't really say what it is you do or anything.
Yeah.
Also, Ira Miller is sponsoring videos. I talked to him a couple days ago, but I've got his logo thing that I could post. But I really can't find, for me anyway, I can't find one that I consider to be one that's informative, where when you look at it, you know what it is. And so send me one.
Yeah. Missy Mo says, hello. That's Judy and her.
Hey!
She's got her grandkids with her.
What are you doing?
The grandkids are down here. Just practically half the house is down here.
She thinks I'm weird anyway.
Missy Mo says, hello, back in Michigan. We did enjoy our stay the 4 months that we were there. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. Too bad you couldn't stay a little longer.
Where'd they stay at? I'm just always curious what village people stay at.
Yeah.
And what they think of it. We've been coming here, my God, it seems like forever. The first house that we were thinking about buying for a part-time home, because I always remember I wanted to be a snowbird, was actually in a historical area.
Yeah.
Because there was no other area, really. And then, what are you doing? Oh, spoiling the grandkids?
Yeah, checking out the new roofing jobs down the way. Yeah, yeah, we're in line
Yeah,
for a new roof.
yeah, because Certainty put out these shingles. There's a recall on a ton of them because they're manufacturer defects. Well, there's only one guy in this whole area that's qualified from Certainty to even look at them. And so we called him. He looked at ours and he said ours is part of the deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Buddy's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You see how he
This
is.
kids. Kids. And he loves Judy. Yes. Well, and I said you can call them and ask because you're out of warranty because we're out of warranty. But this is through the shingle company itself. I don't know whether, since you're not the first owner, I don't know how they do that. But I'd call them and find out. Worth it. Yeah. Come here, boo boo. Okay, we'll do. I'll text it to you. Yeah. Are you guys having fun? Yeah. Well, and I know it's probably, oh, my goodness. I'll add that to my collection. I still got the other two. I do.
How long are you guys here?
We leave tomorrow. We're going to go to SeaWorld, and then we fly out early Friday.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so you're about ready to go home then?
Yeah.
SeaWorld.
You like
one of my
SeaWorld.
favorite places to go.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do there?
Yeah, there's so much there to see that
Betty.
it's underground, kind of like. It's air conditioned down there.
That's right. He likes it. The air conditioning.
But the shows they put on, I don't even know what the shows are called, where they have the seals and the walruses, and they put on the show, and they're running around, and they're doing things.
I knew her when she was her age, probably. So
You can if he'll let you.
I don't think they have the orca show anymore.
Yeah, they do.
They
They
do?
do, yeah.
Even after that girl got killed?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought
you get down to him.
I remember them saying that they were going to cancel that show, period.
I think they
And there was even talk about a company was going to pay to have them turn it loose back out in the wild, but a guy said you can't do that because some of them was born there. They don't know what the wild is.
Yeah, we're live, guys. So, say hi. He said this is our.
Come here. Look right there. See yourself? Say hi, everybody.
All right. Well, y'all have a good day.
Oh, you too, and enjoy going to SeaWorld because I know you'll love it down there.
Yeah.
So, and it's supposed to be a decent day too. So.
You have good tickets on Groupon too. You get good.
Yeah, well, we've been so many times. I don't think we're probably going back.
I'll tell you another place that's pretty cool to go while you're down that area. If you're there, are you going to be spending the night there?
Yeah.
Get online and go to Al Capone's Dinner Theater. It's not too far from where you're going to go. It's just kind of like really down the road. And they start like at 7:00 at night if you'll be done by then. And it's a buffet.
Italian buffet.
And it's a speakeasy. And they put on a show in there. And I've been to it twice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
our granddaughters loved it.
If you had a hotel down there, the hotels had tickets where you could get them from, the tickets are like $70 a piece, but with the hotel coupon, you could get as many as you wanted for like $30 a piece.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So it's more than affordable.
Yeah. But you'll enjoy it. You'll have a good time. I can't believe how big you guys are. You're just growing so much.
5th grade and 4th grade.
Nice. I still remember you this big.
We terrorize the neighborhood as much as we can.
That's okay.
That's okay. They need it. Get them wake up here. No.
Bye, girls. See you next year.
Okay, that was our neighbor's grandchildren. They come to visit this week. Like I said, there are a lot of kids in the neighborhood this week. I was looking the other day because I kept hearing a lot of racket, and one of the neighbors on the next street, they've got a pool, and all the kids was in the pool behind the house, so you could hear them from here. So, but it's kind of nice. The traffic is terrible, but it's kind of nice that all the kids are down here visiting. This is spring break, so they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Nice
I kind of like it when the kids all show up.
Well, it's nice that the weather turned good.
Well, I should say I like it when the well-behaved kids show up.
Oh, and then Missy Moses' Case and Hammock.
What about kids?
That's where. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a fairly newer neighborhood.
If Teresa Hilton says Buddy is a cute rascal, he is. He's a dog baby, and I went to visit a friend of mine in independent living yesterday, and there were some people sitting out by the pool, and they had their two dogs out there, And then one looked just like Buddy. It was white with a little gray on it. And I went over to talk to them, and they said that their dogs were Havanese. Because Buddy's a Shih Tzu, or supposed to be a Shih Tzu. But I'm looking at this Havanese, and it looks just like him. So I don't know. But I know he does have some of the traits of the Shih Tzu, because he got the teeth thing.
Well, he's got that curled terror.
Yeah.
He's got Shih Tzu in him.
Yeah, but he's a good baby. He really is.
He's a pure. It doesn't make any difference, but I just got my doubts that he's pure Shih Tzu.
Right.
One reason is, and this may not mean anything. I'm not a dog breeder, but he seems to be long for a Shih Tzu. Most Shih Tzus are kind of like short and squatty, but he's a little longer than that.
Yeah. But the vet last week said he was in perfect health. Felt all his ribs and what have you, and said, "What do you feed him?" And when I told her rotisserie chicken, and she laughed, and she said, "Well, I guess that works." But she did tell me that I needed to order some kind of vitamin to put on it, because they need a little bit more than just chicken. But I do give him vegetables too. He gets carrots and sweet potatoes, and he likes green peppers,
and crackers, and cooked carrots, and salad. And
he likes the green peppers.
He wants whatever you're eating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let me see. And we need to get to we are down to the 10-minute thing, or 15-minute warning. So, got to tell you what's going on this week, because there's a lot going on. The nice thing that this weather come in handy, and a lot of people are getting ready for, not only is it spring break, but a lot of people, the snowbirds, are getting ready to go back north. So they got a lot of things going on.
Usually January, February, March that's the peak season, and around April 1st they start. Some, not all, start heading back. The rest of the crowd that hangs around longer, they'll head back May 1st.
Yeah, but right now, March the 30th, we've got Artists Around the Square. It's in Lake Sumter Landing. Acrylic, oil, and glass, and photography and clay, and more. It's from 1 to 4 on March the 30th at Lake Sumter Landing. Friday night car show is at Lake Sumter Landing from 5 to 8, featuring the Village's Convertible Club. Rattlin' Roots will perform. April 5th is Rocky Fest at Brownwood from 2 to 9. And what that amounts to is Rocky and the Rollers and a whole cadre of performers are going to do their show at at Brownwood. And like it starts at 2, and there'll be a lot of performers. So there'll be a large lineup, and the performances are free, and it's open to the public. Also, Mr. Swindle's Traveling Peculiarium, try to say that all at once, is going on in Wildwood. They've got a tent. It's in the next to the community center there, and it's acrobats and comedians, and supposed to have the Moto Maniacs, which that's the motorcycle show. He's wrapped around my foot, honey. It's supposed to be the motorcycle show, and I think I'd really like to see that. And then the drinkery opens an hour beforehand, and the tickets start, I think they start at $50. And yeah, start at 50, and it runs through April the 6th. You must be 18 or older. For tickets, you go to mrswindles.com. So that just intrigues me. I really like to see that. It's kind of a circus show without animals. But like I said, they do have acrobats and comedians and a little bit of all that kind of stuff. And the Moto Maniacs, like I said, the motorcycle thing, I'd really like to see that. But anyhow, runs till April the 6th. Might be something you might be wanting to do. Let's see. What else we got? Okay, that was the wrong direction. Friday the 28th is the Outdoor Expo. That's from 10 to 3, Friday and Saturday at Everglades Rec Center. That's on Marsh Bryn Trail. 30 clubs and vendors will share expertise and give demonstrations of kayaking, cycling, sailing, swimming, fishing, and astronomy. RC boats and cars. Now that, if you're an outdoor enthusiast and like that kind of thing, sounds like your kind of thing. J.C. Gallagher, he's a friend of the channel. Very great singer. We really love him. He's at Blondie's today in Spanish Springs from 2 to 4. If you want to see where else he's playing, because he's not here all the time. He's only here maybe a week out of the month. So go to his website and find out when he's here and where he's going to be. But today from 2 to 4, he's at Blondie's in Spanish Springs. The Bonifay Country Club now has Boozy Bingo. And if you've ever been to Sawgrass and seen what a crowd they have for Boozy Bingo, it's very, very popular here. So now they're doing it at Bonifay. It's on every Wednesday from 5 to 7. And you can reserve your table by calling 352-205-7455. There's also Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Memorial at 10 a.m. Saturday at Memorial Park. It's on Page Place in Spanish Springs. And I don't know what all they do for that, but I'm sure you'll be pleased. It's nice to have something for the Vietnam veterans. They were kind of put out to pasture too quick. At Fruitland Park Day is the 28th and the 29th. It's Bulls and Bronx Rodeo. It's $20. The gates open at 4, and the show starts at 6:30. It's at Windy Acres Arena, 1350 Miller Boulevard in Fruitland Park. And that's something, you might, I know a lot of people that's went there. Last time they had it, it was actually cold weather. So I did not want to go, but I know a lot of people that went and they had a really good time. And I said, it's just right outside the villages. Windy Acres Farms is just on the other side of, what is it? The end of the villages, anyhow, on that side. I think it says Miller Boulevard, but I think Miller Boulevard is 466A. So, but you'll have a good time. So I think that's what we got on the agenda for this weekend. So have a good time. Enjoy yourself. We are going to go think about what we're doing this week. We will let everybody know. And thank you all.
Buddy's eating on my leg. Come on, buddy.
Well, it's better than peeing on it.
Leave me alone.
Love you. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, channel manager. Love y'all.
Thanks
See you
for all
next
the
time.
super chats. Appreciate it. Or Buddy, appreciate it. Get over here.